Hey, natural born sisters. Welcome to another episode of Kinky in the Kitchen, where every swirl, curl, coil, and wave is celebrated. You'll hear inspiring stories from women who have left straight hair, wigs, and weaves behind, despite the discrimination and bias, to reclaim their power by rocking their natural hair. Be it spiraled, kinky, defined, or straight. Whether you're already a natural sister or still finding the courage to unleash your beautiful coils, you're not alone, and you're in the right place. Let's get to know your host. She's passionate about inspiring Black women to rock their natural hair with confidence, teaching our Black natural hair-wearing women how to show up despite hair discrimination and biases. She's natural like you and rocks her kinks in the kitchen loud and proud. She's Lisa E., aka Natural Born Sister.
What's up, Natural Born Sisters? It's your girl Lisa E., aka Natural Born Sister, aka Living My Best Life. Welcome to the Kinky in the Kitchen podcast, the show that highlights Black women who are rocking their natural hair with confidence despite discrimination and bias. Welcome to our first episode. It's been a while in the making, and I am so proud of the many sisters we have on our first season lineup. You're going to be amazed by the content. You will definitely relate to a story, take advantage of tips, and gain the confidence you deserve of being a natural born sister. We are giving raw and spicy content that you can hold on to for years to come. And since this is our first episode of the Kinky in the Kitchen podcast, we had to come lit. And we're doing it with my longtime friend who has also become family because she married one of my first cousins, may he rest in peace. And they had a handsome son who is also my cousin, who I'm proud to be big cousin to. And guess what? He's also smart and fine as hell. The ladies love him and they love his swag too. But guess what? This show isn't about my cousin. In our first episode, I'm talking to Deatra Gonzalez Townsend. But in the hood, we call her Dee Dee. Dee Dee is holding her own, y'all, and others in this episode. Her experience in having a license in hairdressing could never prepare her for the challenges she faced with jealousy, secrets from her father, and alopecia. But she found a solution, sis. The solution was to cover up her natural hair with a wig. That's right, sisters, the convenient cover-up, as I call it. But she never allowed the wig to take over, and although this is a dark side to this option, she will still take care of her hair underneath there. She's going to tell us why she continues to wear her wigs and why alopecia played a part, so take some mental notes, sis. So, without further ado, I bring you natural born sister, Deatra Gonzalez Townsend. Dee Dee, welcome to the show, girl. What's up?
Hey, honey.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's so good to have you on the show this evening.
Thank you. It is good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I just want to get right into it because I know this might be a story that might get interesting. It might go over time. We never know what to expect, right? So let's get right into it. So I'm going to ask you, what led you to transitioning to natural? Now, although I know and I understand you still wear the wig, because there was a time in my transition where I wore a wig too. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the world to see what was under it. So tell me, what led to you not releasing, but allowed you to have your natural hair, whether you wear it under a wig or not? What led you to this transition? Was it an event that happened or something else? Or was it like an up in the air decision?
Well, Lisa, let's go back to the beginning because I had a very, very great grade of hair, very thick, always long. But my mother, she started me out with straightening my hair, that hot comb, honey. That's what we grew up on, that hot comb.
Yes,
and I was doing the hot comb for a long time. And then I must have been about 10 or 11 years old. And then she decided, the Jerri Curl came out. Let's try the Jerri Curl. But I was the guinea pig.
Girl, so you had the Jerri Curl too?
Yes, honey. I had me the Jerri Curl too, girl. Yes, I did. But the only thing I hated about it was that they cut all my hair off because how do they tell you the ends won't curl up? Okay, if they're permed. So my ends weren't permed. My hair was just very, very, very thick. she ended up cutting off all my hair. I ended up from the Jerri Curl, didn't like the Jerri Curl anymore. So I had my mom started perming my hair. That was where it started to destroy my hair. So it took me quite a little bit to get over the perming. I talked to a few people about going natural, and then finally I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. But going natural, I was still not comfortable with wearing just my hair out. Wasn't long enough for me because, of course, growing up the way I did, I was too vain.
Yeah, we all were. Yeah.
Okay. And so I had someone do my hair one time, and I trusted very much. And she didn't take as much time out on my hair as she did as, everybody else, I felt, and broke off all my ends on my hair. I mean, from the front to my nape, okay? It ripped out all that. And this was glue from having weave put in my hair. So that's something after that. Of course, I never went back, so I've never done that again. But hence when I started wearing the wigs, because I was not comfortable with how my hairline was looking.
Okay, so wait, let's go back.
Yeah.
Because when you said you didn't think she didn't take time with you, is there a reason behind that? Or what made you think that?
Well, I felt that because to me, it always happened. When it came down to me, I guess because we were so close, it was always a rush thing.
I see.
But as opposed to when you're doing somebody else that you're not that close to, or you just met or whatever, you're going to do the best that you could.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So that was a disaster. And it was supposed to be a birthday hairstyle, and it turned out to be a complete disaster.
Oh, no.
I looked like a pretty face with a mop on top of her head. Yeah, it was awful.
So,
It was.
Dee, let me ask you though, but what age was that? Because I'm concerned, like if you were at a young age, I'm concerned what trauma that may have caused you as to why now you don't want to wear your hair out.
Oh, that caused big trauma, honey. That caused a whole lot of mistrust. I don't trust people doing my hair anymore.
Okay.
It took me a long time to go to a beauty parlor. And I mean, when I say a long time, I mean quite a few years. I just started getting my hair done with letting someone else do it in 2020. I refused to let anyone touch my hair. And this happened all the way back in 2011.
Okay.
Okay. And when that happened to me in 2011 was when I was introduced to the lace front wig. I never knew anything about the lace front wig. And when I was learning about it, I was hearing a lot of gory stories about it, about the glue and stuff that people use, to put down the lace front wig. So, I mean, that's another thing that can cause a whole lot of problems as far as your hairline. Yeah, your edges. Yes, absolutely. So I noticed when I was wearing the lace front wig, I was wearing it for a few years and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so this is not going to help me get my edges back. How do I get my edges back? So for a long time, I didn't worry about my edges because I was like, I don't have the edges in there as it is. And it was taking so long for me to grow it back.
Okay.
Like it's almost as if it's, alopecia. Okay. So that really scared me. So I started looking things up and started learning new methods of what to do to get the edges back and things and stuff. So I learned about the aloe, the fresh aloe. Aloe is good for alopecia. And even if it's not alopecia, sometimes your follicles are clogged. So I had to go through different treatments and stuff just to bring the life back to my follicles for my edges to start to grow back. That transition right now, growing my edges
with the
back.
Alopecia part, do you know if alopecia may run in your family or this is something?
Yes, it absolutely does. It runs on my mother's side of the family, which is something that my girl cousins and I always make fun of. Like, oh gosh, we hope we don't turn out like this one. We hope we don't turn out like this one.
Yeah, we did that too. And just to say, like, we've experienced it through our grandmother. Like our grandmother was the first person you notice that she's completely
well, I wouldn't say completely bald. You have some hair around the hairline, right?
Right.
So it's like
Absolutely.
you look at her and you start to worry. Then you look at your mother and you start to worry even more. And you're like, oh well, you just accept it. After a while, you're like, oh well, I think that's it. I'm running the chain right now, so I might as well just expect it, right? So
Right.
it's a scary thing, but then we all get used to it because if our grandmother can get used to it, if our mother can get used to it, hell, we can get used to it too, right?
I would say, yeah, on one end, but then, that's scary,
It is
to
scary.
women because you wonder, it makes you question your beauty.
It,
To me, your hair is 85% of your look. You
yeah,
know
I
what I
agree with
mean?
that 100%. But like when
Yeah.
I say
So,
getting used to it, like when I first saw my grandmother like that, it bothered me. It was very disturbing. First of all, not only for myself, but for her, because I knew she wasn't happy with it. But then I saw how comfortable she got with it because I guess she did because she couldn't do anything else about it. She said it's too late now. And
right.
she made it work for her. And I'm starting to see, like my mother, she's making it work for her. So I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna break the cycle. I guess I gotta make it work for me. So maybe working for me, the solution may be I might have to wear. I don't know if you've ever seen any videos where they put hair on the bald part of your head.
Yes.
Yes, that might be a solution for me. It might not have been for them, but everybody's gonna have their own solution moving forward. Yeah, I just want to mention that because I thought that was a very important part of your story. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is also. And it wasn't even just the edges that got taken out. It was, I say, go a whole almost from the front of your edges going all the way back, maybe a whole inch and a half
Yeah.
back. All that got torn and ripped out,
Right.
you know? So just that happening to me was devastating. The wigs actually came in handy, and honey, they still come in handy
Okay.
because
Amen.
now my edges they're coming back, but it's still very thin. So it's not comfortable for
Right.
me to wear without my wig. Now, when I'm home, honey, wig off.
Okay.
I'm comfortable. I'm walking around. But soon as somebody ring my doorbell, hold on, don't you open up that door until I get something on my head. So
Right,
no one
girl.
else outside of my house gets to see me without the wig on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I even remember before my dad passed away, I remember when I was getting ready to go up to New York to visit him, I was like, oh Lord, I got to get this wig situation together because it actually has to look like it's my natural hair. He
Okay.
has never, ever, ever seen me with my hair the way it is. It's
Really?
never been gray to him. No, it's never been gray to him, anything. He's always seen me with my hair done.
So did he know you were wearing a wig?
No, he didn't. He
Ah,
never paid attention to it. I never let him touch my head because I knew that I would have to explain that.
okay.
See, my dad is Spanish, and that's where the vein came in from.
Okay. Okay.
He always having long and thick, beautiful hair. That's how he expected it to be. When
Right.
my mother first did the Jerry Curl, she cut it. He was very upset
Right.
that we cut it. So I never let him see me without it. Listen, he went knowing, oh my gosh, you have still have such a beautiful braid of hair.
Oh.
Wow. But I gave him that. I let him have that. And then it also made me feel a lot better too.
Mhm. I hear you.
Even though I knew the truth, but still made me feel better.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And I want to speak on the fact where you said you wouldn't even open the door, girl, till you had your wig on. So let me tell
Oh,
you something
honey.
about me. I have hot flashes. I suffer with hot flashes. So
Right.
if I'm home and I have a bonnet on my head, whether I open the door or not, that bonnet is gonna be on my head because there have been
Yes.
days I've had on wigs and I would take them off and they would be so heavy and wet because I
Yes.
suffered with heat from the hot flashes. Have you ever gone through any hot flashes in
Yes.
you? Oh my God.
Absolutely, honey. Absolutely. I go through the hot flashes. My husband and my son, they laugh at me, like, oh Lord, she's going through it. My son calls me old lady, but that's okay because he puts respect on that though,
Okay,
long
okay.
as. But as far as what you were saying, when you go to the door, now don't get me wrong, I don't always throw my wig on. Okay, because mind you now, you still got to make sure the front is laced down and stuff. You don't want to throw no wig on and then people looking at you and like, your edges ain't looking all that tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You forgot to glue that down or whatever. So my hair bonnet, like I have it on now.
Right.
My hair bonnet, I have so many of them, so many different colors. Honey, when I change my pajamas, I put on a color that matches. Okay, that's how serious it gets for me. Because when somebody ring that doorbell, better believe that bonnet is on my head. But when I suffer with those hot flashes, I have no problem in snatching it right off as long as there's no company around.
That's the problem. Nobody can be around, but I'll snatch that shit off right as soon as I need to.
I sure will too, honey. And don't be calling me on no video either if you ain't ready to see how I'm looking walking around my house. All right?
Exactly.
Okay, this is what you call comfort here because I cannot wear a wig 24 hours in a day. Honey, if I'm out longer than 24 hours, my head is miserable. I'm miserable for my head. Right. No, it's as soon as I come in the house, I'm telling you that is one of the first things that are removed.
Yes. And then the bra.
Yes. And then the bra. Sometimes the bra may come first.
Yeah, sometimes the bra may come first. They kind of interchange a little bit. That's right.
Yes, because both of them start getting a little uncomfortable. You know, the shoes, the bra. All right, you know what? Time for this wig now. Yes.
That's right.
Wow. And I bought so many different heads. I went on Amazon and I found those styrofoam heads.
Yeah.
And I bought a 12-pack, honey. And my husband was like, well, how many wigs do you plan on buying? And when I tell you each head has a wig on it, my husband's like, if you buy another wig, I said, oh, and I sure will. I bought another one for my birthday. So that one I'm rocking. And then sometimes I might want to go and be somebody else, you know?
Okay, yes. Yes, there you go.
Go pick out one of them heads.
That's it.
You know, and switch it from the foam head to my head.
Well, look, maybe I can ask you for some storing tips because I remember I had a few heads. I didn't have 12. I had maybe like 3 or 4. And I didn't know where to put them or store them. Like, where do you store them at?
Well, I have a closet here that's open. Okay. I don't know what was wrong with my landlord, but all the closet doors have curtains instead of doors. But you know what? I find that made it a lot easier for my wigs. So right outside my bedroom, I made the 2 top shelves mine, and those are where my wigs are setting. So you got to make sure that they're in a dry place, not in a spot that's damp.
Okay.
You know, or that will get damp is it if you have heat on in your house. That spot that you put the wigs in has to always remain a dry spot.
Oh, I see. Because look, I got 2 emergency wigs left that's sitting on some styrofoam heads. And I have a little space in my closet where I put them. I just can't imagine having any more than those 2 because those are barely fitting with all the shoes and the clothes and everything.
Girl, yes. Let me tell you something. I already know it. Me and my husband, we share one closet, and then I have another closet that's mine, and then he has part of another closet that's his.
And where does the other part go to?
The other part is where his shoes and and stuff are, and his hats. Because God, he's got one to match everything he wears. Okay. And my closet, the closet in our bedroom, that's just my closet completely. I have my vanity set inside that closet, you know, and then my sneakers on the other side. And then up at the top, the 2 shelves, those are mine. I had to take all his stuff off of one of the shelves.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the closet where we share, where we hang our clothes, so that I can have that whole closet for myself. And it's still not enough space, honey. You know, we women, we accumulate a lot fast.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I didn't realize how fast it was until I moved. Oh, my word. And when I moved, I said, oh, no. No wonder why I had that extra bedroom. That was for all of my stuff.
Right. Right.
Now
Exactly.
I don't have a 3-bedroom anymore. I have a 2-bedroom. And when my son leaves and moves out, his room is going to become my room again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be my girl room. That's going to be where my vanity set. I'm going to put everything in there.
Okay. So it's not
Yeah.
gonna be a guest room anymore, huh?
Well, I've thought about it. My husband wants me to use the indoor porch for my little girly space, but I don't want to do that because I use the indoor porch when I entertain,
Okay.
from the backyard. That's a spot where we use to play cards and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm still kind of working through it, but like I said, I'm going to have my girl room, my she shed.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Yes.
Ladies, sisters,
'Cause
listen up to Dee Dee, because to store your wigs, that's like you said, in a cool, dry place, not when it's hot, not where it's moist. If you are
right.
still rocking wigs over your natural, make sure they stay looking good, because you don't want to go back to a wig 6 months later because you decide you don't want to style your own hair
Keep
and
them
the
fresh,
wig looking
ladies.
shabby. Yeah.
Yes, keep them fresh, ladies. Keep them fresh. And always make sure when you buying human hair wigs, you keep them clean because
Right.
all the sprays and glues and gels and stuff that you use can really mess your wigs up. And you keep them clean in ice cold water. You wash them out
Oh
and
wow,
you
I
hang
didn't
them
even
up.
know that.
Yes, you hang them up and you let them air dry. You don't squeeze them dry. Don't blow dry it. You let it air dry.
All right, sisters, listen up. Listen up.
Okay.
Coming straight from Dee Dee's mouth to our ears. Okay, well, Dee Dee, that's a very interesting story. I was traumatized listening to it alone. I could also definitely relate with getting perms, and I remember that time, that phase where I got the Jerri curl, and I had to get my hair cut too, and I cried, and I was
Right.
not happy with my
Yes.
hair.
Yes.
And it's like even then, when we had to put the what do you call it to make the curls pop?
The neutralizer
You know what I'm
and
saying?
the activator.
Something like that.
Hmm.
Activator. Lord
That
girl. Even though
activator,
I put
girl.
that stuff on, oh, it was the worst. But I didn't really
Honey,
complain
I
about it
walked
so much.
around. Sorry,
Yeah.
honey. I walked around with the bottle of activator because, girl, as short as they had to cut my hair, I had that pick and I used to pick it down just to make it look longer.
Yeah.
Wait, let me spray more activator in there because it'll make it wet and then it'll hang a little bit more. Oh, honey, I
Oh,
was devastated.
I never thought of
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Hmm. I was devastated, but I had to learn the hard way
Right.
about chemicals in your hair, how bad they eat our hair up. I know better now. And it's too bad that it's too late, you know.
Yeah, right?
But hey, listen, you live and you learn.
That's right.
And I'll tell you one thing, was something you were saying about getting used to the fact of having the alopecia running through your family and stuff. But I don't think that that's something that I'm even nearly ready.
I know,
I'm
absolutely.
not ready for that kind of
Right.
transition. Yeah.
Nobody's ever ready for that. And I don't think anybody
Yeah.
ever will. And I
I
think
don't ever
maybe
see
I should
me ever getting ready for it either.
right. I think maybe I should have used the word accepting it. And when you get to a point where you can't do
Right.
anything about
Right.
it, you can't reverse it. That's that's
Yes.
what I
Yes.
probably was intentionally wanting to say. So yeah,
Yes.
I get
And
it.
although I would love to wear my natural hair out, I really is because it's beautiful and it's salt and pepper. It's
Oh,
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I tell you, if I could ever do anything about my edges being comfortable with them, honey,
mhm.
I'd wear my natural hair out with pride. I really would if it wasn't for the edges.
Yeah, it's always that thing where you're not ready. So when I was wearing the wig and I knew when I wanted to become natural, maybe like 2 years before I stopped wearing the wig, I kept saying to myself, okay, let me let it grow. I'm going to let it grow to this length. It's like length is very important to us. It's like we
Yes.
can't live without some length to our hair. Like shortness is a
Yes.
bad thing, for us.
Yes.
And
Yes.
even like when you were growing up, say like you would see other girls, there was a few girls, one or two girls that wore their natural hair and they wore the
Right.
little ponytails, and we used to we
Hmm.
used to tease them and stuff. And I didn't like that. Like I was one of
Right.
those ones that did that too, and I feel very bad. I want to apologize to those girls that I may have come across and I teased you about your natural hair.
Same here. Same here. Because I wouldn't like it if somebody saw
Hmm.
underneath my wig and made fun of that, because that was the very same thing that I did growing up. And I really feel bad for that too. So yeah, Lisa, just like you did, I apologize too to every young girl that I ever made fun of coming to school or going outside with that little ponytail, you
That's
know?
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And it was what it was for them. And then look at now, you
Right.
know, maybe we suffering now because of making fun of them back then. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows? But you know what? I make it work for me and I
That's
make it
right.
work for my husband, which is a-okay for me.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they selling 100% human hair, I guess I will be looking like Jenny from the block.
Okay. You go, girl. That's my
All
sister
right.
Sadie right
Yes,
there.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes,
Dee, I
ma'am.
want to ask you, is there anything else that you would like our listeners to know about your hair journey, your past, if you want to share further?
Well, sure. Listen, I never mind sharing with my sisters. I just want to say that transitioning from permed hair to all natural was a very, very big decision for me. I didn't know how to let the perm go,
Okay.
but I saw how it was thinning my hair out to where I would brush my hair and I could literally see my scalp.
Wow. Okay.
When I saw that, that was a wake up like, oh my God, okay, wait a minute, is that really my scalp? And then I'm brushing it away and I'm seeing how the top of my hair is still so very thin. Okay, you know what? Something's got to go. And it was the chemicals, it was the perm. They have to go. Ladies, they are absolutely no good for our hair.
They sure are.
Forget those relaxers, ladies. Forget the relaxers. Let them go. There are other ways and more healthier ways to treat your hair for your hair to be thin or silky smooth. Go back to the hot comb. Go back to the old days.
Right.
Go back to the old days. Go back to the hot comb. You got flat irons. But a lot of times, all that heat is not good for your hair as well. The heat
Right.
will start to break you out.
Absolutely.
So, ladies, just leave the relaxers alone. Do as less chemicals in your hair as you can. Trust me, because the older you get, the more you'll see the damage that it did.
Yeah. And I did all that. I follow that same type of philosophy. Chemicals is
Right.
not the move. Let me ask you a question. Do you think your hair is long enough right now to kind of take it out and test the waters a little bit?
Absolutely. The length is definitely there where
Okay.
I'm comfortable with the length. The only thing that makes me not comfortable is my edges.
Okay. Okay.
But as far as the length goes, oh yeah, honey, because I take the braids out my hair, I flaunt it in front of my husband, I swing it in his face and everything, and he loves it. He loves it. And I know he wishes I would wear my hair out, but he knows how I feel about my edges. And I remember there was one time that I did go so bold and I did wear it out. I washed it and of course it curls right up,
Okay.
as it does with me being mixed. I went and I threw a headband on the front of my hair just to see how comfortable I would feel.
Okay.
But the headband didn't cover enough for me. To me, it was covering too much of my forehead going to my hairline, but it wasn't covering the top of my hair, which had thinned out as well.
Oh, okay.
So I said, okay, you know what? Back to the wigs.
So let me ask you this. Two questions. What is the
Yes.
texture of your hair if you know it? And do you currently have a plan to work on your edges this way? So maybe you can decide that you might want to freely out and transition outside the wig.
Well, Lisa, I tell you right now, my hair, and it's always been, especially when I stopped using the perms, my hair is very thick. It's very thick and it's very curly.
Okay.
So, do I want to wear my hair? I would love to wear my hair out, but I'm still not comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still not comfortable, and it's all due to my edges. But I do have a plan I am working on. I make my own rice water. I use rice water for my hair. And I also learned about, like I was saying earlier, about the fresh aloe. I will buy the aloe plant and I will actually cut the aloe plant up into like 1-inch pieces. And you slice it open and I actually scrape out everything on the inside of it and I put it inside of a bottle, a spray bottle. So I may take some of the rice water and mix with it.
Okay.
Shake it up and spray it all out through my hair. I'll put on a cap and I will wear it for about an hour, then wash it out. But after that, I also take the fresh aloe and I run it along my hairline.
Okay.
Okay, my edges. And that is when I started to see my edges coming back.
Well, it looks like you have a real strong plan to getting those edges gone, girl.
Oh, honey, I really do. I really do, because I would really like to give that to myself and my husband. I'd really like for him to see me again with just my hair,
Okay.
Wearing it out and sporting it, not just around the house.
Right.
Because when I'm just around the house, I still have the cornrows in my hair, so I can sport my wig.
Gotcha. Thanks for sharing that. I've heard of the aloe vera treatment, but I wasn't really familiar how you would use it. By hearing you telling me how you use it is really an eye-opener for me, and I'm sure our listeners as well. There's some really clever women out there knowing what to put and doing their hair. When I watch them on the video, sister.
And mind you, I don't know everything, so I'm still open to learning.
Yep. That was really good information there. I have a question for you. The podcast really focuses a lot on hair care, the transition stage, and I could say we're a little bit political. So I want to ask you this question. I want to know, how do you react to racial hair discrimination? Like, as far as what you've experienced, if you have, as an individual, and what you've seen in the media. Like, how do you feel about that? And what do you think about that story? I don't know if you remember the story about the young wrestler guy where they had forced him to cut his braids. I don't know if you remember that story, but that story was so disheartening to me.
I don't remember that story. He had to cut his hair off.
They told him, well, actually, I think it was another student, maybe at a higher level, or maybe like he was like one of those semi-coach guys. I can't remember the story verbatim, but it was said that he said to him, they were in practice. I think they were in practice or they was actually at a real tournament. But I really believe it was practice, because he said to him, he said, you could do it. You could do it. You could cut your hair. It'll make you a better person. It was like some things he was throwing at him that was really humiliating. And this guy really cut his hair because he felt like if he couldn't stay on the team, it would be a problem. But he loved his hair because he was growing it into locks. And when I heard this story, it was on the news and everything. It really disappointed me. I was so sad for him, because when you have to choose between something you really love and something you really love, it's very hard, especially at a young age. Nobody knows how to separate those two. Your brain just doesn't work like that.
Absolutely.
You just take the choice.
Devastation comes in.
Right. You just take the choice that seems more forceful, And I think he felt that. So, I want to know, what is your take on racial hair discrimination? I don't know if it has happened to you directly, or tell me what you've seen on the media.
Well, I tell you like this. I think society makes it where it's so important for you to have hair or how you wear your hair. And when I say that we need to stop using the perms and things like that, because we know we're looking for our hair. See, the difference between the perm and a relaxer, which some people may know now, but I didn't start out knowing this, but a person with Caucasian hair, they use perms.
Yes.
Now, they use perms to make their hair curly.
Yes.
We use, and we misuse the word perm, we use relaxers, and we use the relaxers for our hair to become straight. So why do we want our hair straight? A lot of people back in the days would say, oh, she wants her hair to look straight like mine because they have the Caucasian hair. And they would misunderstand that. No, it's not like we want our hair to be straight like a Caucasian person's hair is straight naturally. We want our hair straight because we're trying to take the kinky out, or we're trying to take the curly out.
Make it more manageable. Yeah.
Exactly. Make it a lot more manageable for us. Just like a Caucasian person with their type of hair, Their hair is not always manageable. It kinks up almost like dog hair. Oh,
Yeah.
should I have said that?
Yeah.
But it's real talk because I have a license and I do hair. So I've done all different types of hair and it's very different managing it.
So it's safe to say that there's a challenge with every hair type, Caucasian, European.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely a challenge and it's different. It's not the same. You're using different tools, you're using different combs, different brushes. You can't say, okay, I'm going to use the same things for my hair that I'm going to use for this girl's hair when her hair is completely different from our hair.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't particularly enjoy, honestly, doing that type of hair because it's a lot more challenging.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to do. It's a lot harder to maintain. But I don't even get into doing different type of hairs anymore. Doing and braiding hair for so long, I ended up with carpal tunnel in my hands. So I use my hands, to be honest, to take more time out for my hair.
Okay.
Because the older we get too, the lazier we get.
Of course, I know I am. I don't like combing this hair. You think I like doing this hair?
Honey, sometimes I have to take my wig off and be like, okay, girl, you need to do those braids over. All right? It's time. And then I also, when I was back in high school, I had learned this girl, her hair was so thick and long. And she told us, she said, you know what? Because I wash my hair once every 6 months.
Ah.
And then I learned keeping your hair dirty makes it grow.
Right, exactly.
And then you have other people looking at us, that are not the same color, looking at us like, ew.
But but Dee, but in all due respect, I get it.
Absolutely.
I just don't understand how our hair grows in dirt.
Right.
I don't know how the follicles could be filled with dirt and still allow hair to pass by that.
Hair to grow. It amazes me. It amazes me. And whoever knows this and knows the reason why, please let us know. Because
exactly.
I really would love to know.
That's right.
How is that possible?
We need to know if you know. If anybody knows, please let us know.
Please put us on for real.
That's right.
Put us on, all the way on, because I've tried it. And I'm going to be honest with you. It does work. It's true.
Okay.
It's true. I noticed from me washing my hair every 2 weeks to washing my hair every 2 months, I noticed a difference.
So let me ask you this. If you say like you wait 2 months, let's use the 2 month example. Should I still be putting product on my head to like build up, or should I just, I don't know, should I leave it alone? Because I do have an itchy scalp.
I do too. So you know what I do? I still treat my scalp, or how I would say it, I still show my scalp some love.
Okay.
And I will take that hair grease and I will go in between where it's messy and I will get all up in my scalp and I will still put and then they have these things called dry shampoo. Those things do not work for us ladies of color.
I can't
Please do not use those things. They have too much aerosol in them. And that is another thing that it will start giving you split ends. You'll be wondering, hey, what happened? Just because they sell it don't mean that it works for us. Everything ain't all for our hair type. You need to learn your hair type and learn what best works for your hair. And that might mean you trying different things out because you have to know, you have to see what best works for you. So what works for me may not work for you.
Right.
But I do know that I look up things that are not just for me, but things that are for people who are all natural or people who suffer with alopecia and things, because my husband suffers with it too at the top of his head. And that's another thing that's hereditary on his dad's side. So I did have to understand that, you know what, men go through it too.
Right.
They go through the same thing that we go through, just they care about it less than we do.
Exactly. They have that choice to wear Caesars and
absolutely, absolutely. And they're comfortable, like my husband, he's comfortable with his hats. Listen, if somebody rings the doorbell and they come into the house and he's in his pajamas, you better believe he's going in his hat closet and he's going on a hat. He answered the door. So it really cracks me up. And I'm like, wow, okay. So you know what? I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I put on that hair bonnet, you know.
Right.
I don't want nobody to see what I don't want them to see. And he's the same way. And
Right.
I get it. I absolutely get it.
Well, I just want to say this. I'm mad. You ain't never do my hair. I ain't even know you had a license. I just want to throw that out there. After all these years, I never knew that shit.
All these years, right? And I specialized in braiding.
Okay.
That's where the carpal tunnel comes in because I braided for 17 years. And I want to do it. Sometimes I want to do it so bad. Like I'll see somebody's here and like, oh, if I could just get to that. Oh, I can catch all those. And I always had the fingers that I can catch all the little nicks, all the little P's in the front and the back. And boy, but now I wish that I can do braiding like I did back in the days. But honey, the hands will start cramping up. I'm like, I don't know what you thought. And that's even putting the cornrows in my hair. Like I need to get it done now. And I'm like, I got nails on from my birthday. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to soak these nails off because my hair needs
I
to get
did see
done.
your pretty nails. I saw them.
Yes. Somebody else said that today, that they was pretty. And I gave her the look and she said, oh my God. And I said, oh no, I'm sorry, but I gave you that look to say, oh no, girl, they're not pretty anymore. They need to come off. They are actually 3 weeks old and they need to come off. But I need to take them off so I can throw those straight back to my hair again.
Okay. Gotta get in that kitchen, girl.
Yes, honey, I got to get in that kitchen and cook it on up.
Yes. Look, I like to end the podcast like this. I just want, if you could close us out, maybe you might have a tip or you might have something that you want us to remember. Before you even do that, I just want to tell you this. This episode is going to be memorable. There's so much in this episode. Like I said before, there's tips in here, there's experiences in here, there's knowledge, there's everything, there's power. And Natural Born Sister was created based on everything you said today. Whether you have the wig or not, you're natural, okay? Because people do wear wigs with their hair relaxed underneath still. They take it off and it still looks pretty. I'm like, so why the hell you have the wig on? You know? So that kind of pisses me off too. It's like you're double covering up when it's not necessary. You know what I mean?
And then you still have what you have underneath there that you're comfortable enough to wear, but you're still wearing that wig. And that pisses me off too. I'm like, why do you have that wig on? You know, no. And I have a niece that does that. She has beautiful hair.
Oh my God.
Beautiful hair. Why are you wearing a lace front? And it makes me upset because I went and I looked and she still got her whole hairline. Like, girl, you put that lace front wig on one more time in front of me, I will snatch it right off. Not that I would really do that, but Jesus, if your hair is beautiful, if you have a beautiful hairline, you have beautiful hair, please, ladies, don't mess it up with the lace front wigs, because the lace front wigs can actually do more damage than you think they can do.
That's right.
Okay? We don't want that. We don't want the lace front wigs to rip your hair out. And that's what it'll do. A lot of people use the gel, the got to go gel. Okay? Don't use that because it's like glue.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, unless you want to permanently put that wig on your head to never, ever take it off again, and to realize when you take it off, my edges went with it.
Right.
Then they got to go.
Got to be
spray.
Oh,
okay,
spray.
the whole spray, the yellow can.
And that's glue too, right?
That's glue too. Absolutely. Absolutely. But let me tell you something. It's a lot safer than the gel.
Okay.
Because when you sweat out, it will definitely sweat out. And it be much easier for it to come off as opposed to using that gel.
Girl, you just struck a nerve with me. But my hair is breaking off and I'm trying to figure out why. But I'm going to have to do some testing. But
honey,
that was
make your own rice water. Forget about paying all this money. And you know, I'm big for supporting Black-owned businesses. And they have a lot of Black-owned businesses that have hair care products for us. But everything doesn't work the same for everybody. So sometimes I wonder when they're testing these things out on people's hair, what type of hair textures are you testing them out on? Because some of them don't work for us.
That's right. It's a good question.
It may work for that person that they tested it out on, but it may not work for us. And I've noticed there's some of them hair products that don't work well for me, that don't do anything. I don't see any progress at all. And I'm like, well, shit, I done wasted a whole bunch of money. I done wasted $85 on a whole line of stuff and realized until I finished it, man, I see no results.
Girl, been there, done that.
Okay, yeah, right. So we don't want to been there, do that no more. We don't want to do that where we've been at no more. We need some new information. We need somebody that come on here. And ladies, if y'all have a story, tell us. If y'all have something that we know to help us what to do with the edges and not just the edges. How do you keep your hair, period, from not breaking? And that's where I go back to saying, watch the products that you're using. Everything may not be for you. But again, you live and learn. Some things you have to just use it and find out. But just like when you would take a relaxer and you have to take a strand of your hair, you use a dye, and you have to take a strand of your hair and test it out. Do the same thing with any hair products that you use. Use a part of your hair where it's not seen and test it out first so you can see that if this is right for you. Yeah. It took quite a few things to know what's right for me.
Oh, yeah. So have I. I had to go through the ringer. I've been to hairdressers, let them try stuff, let them recommend. Yes. I try my own shit. It's just like, it's a process. Sometimes it could be never ending. Sometimes you may never get it right, but it's worth to try to figure it out.
And the home remedies to me, to be honest with you, are the best. These are what we grew up on. I never forget my aunt said, girl, you better go and get you some castor oil and grease up your.
I remember that.
Oil. Yep. And yes, and I remember back in the days, these are the things that they were using. But honey, back in the days, how was hair? Hair was thick and bold and beautiful, We didn't think back then that it was beautiful. Oh, they got a big old afro, or, but that was beauty. Yes. And you don't know that until you grow up.
That's right.
And I literally mean grow up with the mind frame thinking, and honey, I look at it now, somebody with a big old afro, and that's your natural hair, honey, that is beauty right there.
Yes, exactly.
That is beauty.
It really is.
Yes.
Well, Dee Dee, I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for, closing it up with the best advice. Thanks for closing it out with that. And on another note, I just want to say, I wanted to make this point earlier. I want to say, let's make it a point to start here. Let's leave our hair natural. I am such a big advocate on natural hair because not only for the hair itself, because I want us to be us. I want us to be how we look.
Absolutely.
I don't want us to manipulate us to have European-like hair. What is the big deal about it,
Right.
And I couldn't control it as a kid, again, because how we said our parents and grandmothers, whoever did our hair, it was for convenience. Now you have your choice now as an adult or a young adult, whatever age you are. I even see like young teenagers. You guys have a choice to what you should be as far as your hair is concerned.
Yes. My son has a friend that's actually coming over now, and she has beautiful hair that, like I was speaking, that thick and beautiful hair that looks beautiful out, but she still would wear a wig. And when I look at her with the wig on, I'm like, I don't like you with wigs on. I don't think that fits you. What better fits you when you're all natural? Yeah.
I think it's a thing for wigs.
It is.
I wish I was in that business because I would be rich right now.
Oh, honey, and everybody getting into the business is actually making the money because everybody are buying wigs. Everybody seems to be getting into that form of wearing your hair. Like that's the best way. Forget about it. I have so many different wig sites that I go through. And of course, I'm going to pick the cheapest one because the pockets, that stuff can really run a pretty penny. But you also know if you want to get a good wig, you're going to spend the money for it. You get what you pay for,
All right.
And I've been on both ends.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Look,
for sure.
I had the heat flashes, so I snatched the bonnet off my head. But here comes somebody at the door, so I hurry up and rush and put it back on again. See what I mean? Honey, nobody gets to see me without this bonnet. No, sir. I don't have this wig on. That is it.
I hear it.
This was wonderful. This was absolutely wonderful.
It really
Lisa.
was.
I am so happy that you're doing something like this. For women, for us sisters to actually get on here and hear the stories and actually learn something. You can actually learn a lot through other people. And I'm very interested and I'm looking forward to hearing other women's stories and their transitions and what they're going through, what they went through, and how we make things better. You know what I mean? How do we look? See, here she come in here with her beautiful, long, luxurious wig on. Okay? And now, you know what? I like that one. That one looks nice. Oh, okay.
It's from the Muhammad store.
Oh, okay. I like it. It looks nice. And see, ladies, you know, y'all young girls, y'all can still rock those wigs any kind of style. Long. I can't do the curly. To me, I did 16 inches for my birthday. And honey, I said, wow, 16 inches. And to reach back, to pull it, to bring it up, to get it off my neck. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to 14 because 16 is just a little bit too much, but it looks nice. I love it. It wasn't too long, but my little sweetheart just walked in here, which she looked like a 22, 24 inch. And okay, that's just too much.
Yeah, girl, that's too much for me.
Honey, that's it. That is too much. And to me, it is a lot to maintain. No, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna end it off here.
Yes,
I want to say thank you for coming on the show again, and it's been a pleasure. I enjoyed your company.
Welcome. I really enjoyed
talking to you. Yes, I learned a lot during this call, and I hope you ladies learned a lot too. Sisters, if you have to listen to this call again, I know I will. Please do, because there's some good nuggets in there that we want you to hear. That Didi has been taking the time, and I'm grateful for her taking the time to share. Didi, you will be getting a free t-shirt. Which t-shirt did you decide on?
Oh, yay. I don't know. I didn't decide.
Okay. Well, if you do decide, let me know. I was just wondering, maybe the listeners might want to hear which one, but that's fine. Okay. I will definitely put it in the description of which one you've chosen.
That I chose. Okay.
Exactly. So that everybody will know. So once it's published, everybody will know what you have.
Sorry, ladies, I'm picky.
Well, enjoy your evening again. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Enjoy your evening too. You take care. Thank you.
Well, sisters, what did you think? I want to know your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure there are a lot of questions brewing in your mind. I know that it was the transparency and the vulnerability for me. She brought the pain hardcore to the brain and shared it without pause, y'all. Being friends with Didi for over 30 years, I never knew about the pain it brought her regarding her natural hair. That had to be hard to keep from people, especially a parent, about your hair. Imagine how she was feeling when her father would mention her hair, or even when he touched it. This proves that we are our hair. Feelings and all are attached to our roots to strands. Don't forget to reach out to her on social media and show her some love. I'm out.
That's all for today. What feelings are you left with? Do you have questions, thoughts? DM on IG at Natural Born Sister and let's talk about it. Oh, and don't forget to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. They really help us grow and reach more women who need company on their hair journey. We'll chat it up next week.